Well, it finally happened, ladies and gentlemen. The Democrats finally did the thing. They went through with all of their talk that they've been putting out, and they finally did something with Trump. They found him guilty on 34 bogus charges, trumped up charges, some might say. Pun very much intended. 34 bogus charges in a corrupt, rigged trial. It was completely rigged against him. And the reality that we all have to face as of right now is what's next? Where do we go from here? Well, I got to be honest with you. There is only one good outcome that can come from all of this. And there's probably a good 10 others that are really bad. There's one path that we could follow that could lead to something pretty good happening. Everything else is pretty much really bad. But I'm going to get into all of that. But if you have not been keeping up with this trial, I want to go over it real quick. Donald Trump was accused of falsifying business records. Now, these are misdemeanor crimes in the state of New York. These are misdemeanor crimes that were upped to felony crimes because they are saying that he falsified these business records in order to cover up another crime. This was their excuse. This was Alvin Bragg's excuse, the prosecutor in the state of New York. This was his excuse for upping these crimes to a felony. Now, there is still zero evidence been presented for Donald Trump ever even committing falsified business records. Zero. I'm just going to put that out there. This entire trial from the prosecution, the entire argument from the prosecution was completely and totally based on witnesses. There has been zero physical evidence presented for Donald Trump doing these things. It's completely and totally based on witnesses, and both of the witnesses, the big witnesses, Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen, both of those two people have been notorious for lying, and Michael Cohen even screwed himself by lying on the stand under oath, which he, of course, was not punished for because he's helping the Democrats. So that's where we are. Then, of course, so we've got these charges upped to felonies because they're saying that he committed or he did this crime in order to cover up another crime. He falsified these business records in order to cover up another crime. So the question we're all asking, and the question that we're still asking, even though the trial is now over, is, well, what was that crime? What was that crime that he was trying to cover up? Yeah, we're still trying to ask that. You would think that would be something we might want to figure out, if that's kind of the whole reason that they were even able to bring these charges in the first place. That was kind of the whole excuse for why they were able to up these charges to a felony, why they were able to charge him with these things even past the statute of limitations. That's kind of the whole freaking point, right? Is to find this imaginary crime out in the ether that he somehow committed. Yeah, we still don't know. We still don't know. Their argument is that, oh, well, we don't have to tell you, and we're not going to, and we're just going to make it up as we go because we are the state, and we will put the boot on your neck if you go against us. This is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. This is what has happened. This is what has happened. And for all you Democrats out there, please, by all means, tell me the crime. Please tell me the crime that he committed. What is this magical felony crime? They tried to say, oh, well, he was going out and he was paying these news organizations not to write bad stories about him. Well, okay, pretty much every politician in existence does that, number one. And number two, that's not a crime. It's not illegal to do that. You are allowed to go and do that. If you want to pay someone to say, hey, don't write bad stories about me as I'm trying to win a campaign for presidency, you're allowed to do that. This is not a crime. Now, is it, you can sit there and you can say all day that that's wrong and you can disagree with that, but it's not a crime. Then, of course, they tried to say that he was, what was their next thing that they were trying to say? They were trying to say, I'm forgetting. It's probably going to come up here in this. Campaign finance laws. They tried to say that he broke federal campaign finance laws. Well, my question is if it's federal laws, if it's federal campaign finance laws, well, then you don't have the jurisdiction to be able to charge him for that. That should be charged in a federal court since it's a federal crime. Secondly, the Federal Election Commission already established that there was no crime here. That's the reason that the federal government never went after Trump for this crime literally 8 years ago, or almost 8 years ago. Then, of course, you have the fact that this supposed crime took place after Donald Trump was already elected. He was already the president. He was already in office whenever this supposed crime took place. How can you sit there and say it's campaign finance laws that were broken whenever the campaign is over? Now, I'm sure there's some kind of fabulous argument that somebody's going to present to me in the comments, but I'm going to get to the news. I'm going to get to the news as to what has gone down today. That was the explanation for how we got here. Now, let's figure out what's going to go on in the future. From the Daily Mail, Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 felony counts in hush money trial. I apologize. I forgot to put it up there. From the Daily Mail, Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 felony counts in hush money trial. First president to be convicted in history will be sentenced on July 11th, just 4 days before the RNC convention. What's the RNC going to do? My guess, Donald Trump is still going to be the candidate for the GOP. The GOP will just continue on with Donald Trump because, as we all know, being a felon does not, there's nothing in the Constitution that restricts Donald Trump from being president, even if he has been convicted of a crime. And of course, as we can all pretty much tell, anyone with half a brain who's been even vaguely paying attention to this can clearly see this is bogus. Might I remind all of you that Judge Merchan, Judge Merchan, whatever the frick his scumbag name is, outright said to the jury that you don't have to agree on the crime that Donald Trump committed. Just if you believe in your little liberal heart that he did, well then that's enough. We'll convict him based off of that. Like I said, zero physical evidence. The entire argument based off of witnesses, and the judge comes out and says that to the jury. The whole thing was rigged from the beginning, guys. It's not surprising that we got here. But let's continue reading. Donald Trump has dramatically been found guilty on all counts in his historic criminal trial. The jury of 7 men and 5 women at Manhattan Criminal Court deliberated for nearly 10 hours before convicting the former president of 34 charges for falsifying business records. It was the first time a former U.S. president has faced a criminal trial, and the verdict could upend the 2024 White House race, proving a pivotal moment in the history of the United States. Speaking outside court, Trump said, "This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge." Yes, it was. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people, and they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. We didn't do anything wrong. I'm a very innocent man. That's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. He added, I think it's just a disgrace, and we'll keep fighting and fight till the end, and we'll win because our country's gone to... he said it's gone to the very bad place where the devil is. Family-friendly show. There are some people out there that consider that to be a cuss word, so I'm going to leave it at that. The former president's son, Donald Trump Jr., called the verdict a joke and such BS. Alvin Bragg, the New York district attorney who brought the case, said he had done his job as a public servant. Bragg said, while his defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes to the courtroom doors. Oh, ho! That's not true at all, but okay. By following the facts and the law and doing so without fear or favor. Following the law, huh? Following the law. Okay. Never mind the fact that this novel legal theory that he used against Donald Trump in this case has never been used before to ever convict any other criminal before. This legal theory that he used to convict an ex-president for falsified business records. Zero physical evidence. All of his witnesses are notorious liars who have lied under oath. Okay? Like I said, this is a novel legal theory that has never been used before. So, no, this is not like every other case that comes through the courtroom doors. They did not follow the facts here. They presented zero evidence. They did not follow the law. These charges were past the statute of limitations. And this upping them to a felony crime, where's the crime at? Where is the crime that he committed? Where's it at? You're saying he did it. Why can't you tell us what this magical crime is? Why? One of the quote unquote crimes that you've given us is a crime that you don't have the authority to convict him for, which is a federal crime, election crime, election finance laws. You don't have the authority to do that. You're a state prosecutor. This is a federal crime. That has to be done out in a federal court. Then, of course, you have the fact that they said, oh, he's going out and paying these news organizations not to write bad stuff about him. Well, first of all, if that's what he was doing a bad job of it because everybody in the media was absolutely trashing Donald Trump back in 2016 before the election. Then, of course, that's not a crime. It's not a crime to do that. You are allowed to do this. And if that's the law, if that's the precedent that we're going to set now, we're going to say that that's the crime that he committed, which, by the way, isn't a crime, like I just said. Well, then every politician in the country is going to be in prison. They're all going to be in prison because they all do this. All the ones that actually have the money to do it. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. He added, I did my job. We did our job. There are many voices out there. The only voice that matters is the voice of the jury, and the jury has spoken. Donald J. Trump has been convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records. Oh, man. The verdict comes after 5 weeks of dramatic evidence and 22 witnesses being quizzed on the stand. The charges Trump was convicted of each carry a maximum potential sentence of up to 4 years in prison. He has 30 days to appeal against the guilty verdicts. The 12 jurors have sat silently in a New York. Okay. Here we are. Now, what was the response? What happened after it? Obviously, there was quite a few people that were shocked. Got to be honest with you, I wasn't really all that shocked. I pretty much figured that in a Democrat state, especially in the one of the most Democrat cities in the country of New York City, I pretty much figured they were going to do this. Okay. You knew the jury was going to be full of scumbag, garbage Democrats who just did not care about evidence, did not care about whether or not he actually committed a crime. They just wanted to get Trump. That's the reality. But what was the response? What was the response from Americans? Well, we got this from the Hill. Trump campaign donation page crashes after guilty verdict. Former President Trump's fundraising page crashed shortly after he was convicted on 34 felony counts by a New York jury, an issue his campaign attributed to an influx of donations. The American people see through crooked Joe Biden's rigged show trial, Trump's campaign posted on the social platform X. So many Americans were moved to donate to President Trump's campaign that the WinRed pages went down. We are working on getting the website back online as quickly as possible. Trump's campaign website redirected visitors to WinRed, the official GOP fundraising site, with a page to donate to the former president said it was under maintenance. The campaign briefly redirected to a different donation processor amid the technical difficulties. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, people are pissed. People are pissed. People are not convinced by this. People, like I said before, anyone with half a brain that has even been vaguely paying attention to this can clearly see that this is rigged. They can clearly see that these charges do not make any sense. The charges that they said that they're getting him on, they haven't even told us what they are. What is this magical felony crime that he was trying to cover up by falsifying his business records? Unless you can tell us what that is, then these charges are still misdemeanors and they are past the statute of limitations, meaning you cannot bring them to court. Yet here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your corrupt judicial system. Welcome to it. Man, I hope you're all happy, Democrats. I hope you're all happy. But of course they are. Of course they are. Because Democrats don't care. They don't care. As long as they win. As long as they win. As long as they can hold on to that power. Screw the country. The country doesn't matter. The country can fall apart. We just got to hold on to power. We can have no country at all, but as long as we got power, as long as we get to rule over everybody, screw everything else. That's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. So where do we go from here? Well, ultimately, I personally believe that they're going to try to put Donald Trump in jail. I do. I think they're going to try to put Donald Trump in a prison. Now, I don't believe it's going to be Rikers. I don't. Rikers Island would be very chaotic. They would have to, they would have to just about completely empty that entire prison in order to have Donald Trump there. They're not going to put Donald Trump in a maximum security prison like Rikers with a bunch of other hardened criminals over, falsifying business records. Okay. And he's an ex-president with a Secret Service detail. Secret Service is not going to get down with that. Okay. They're just too many security risks, too much bull crap to deal with. They're not going to tolerate it. What I am predicting is that they are going to put Donald Trump in a minimum security prison. The reason why they are going to do this, in my opinion, is because the reason why they wanted to do this trial in the first place, the reason why they brought these charges in the first place is to slow Trump down. Trump is winning, guys. The latest polls have Donald Trump up 12 points against Biden with independent voters. He's currently winning more of the black vote than any Republican president in recent history. He's winning more of the Hispanic vote than any Republican president or any Republican candidate in recent history. Donald Trump is quickly taking the lead against Donald Trump, hastily taking the lead. And in many ways, he is kicking the ever-living crap out of Biden in these polls. They are trying to slow him down. But with the response that we have seen with the campaign donation page for Donald Trump crashing after we got this verdict, They are going to see that and they're going to say, this isn't working, but we can't stop now. Double down. Double down. That's what they're going to do. They're going to double down. They're going to throw him in a minimum security prison. And then come time for his come time for him to be, sentenced. Excuse me. Goodness, English is hard apparently. Come time for him to be sentenced, they're gonna throw him in a prison cell. They're gonna throw him in a prison cell. Now, what happens until then, I have no idea. I believe they're gonna throw him in a prison cell. And personally, if I had to guess, like I said, we're guesstimating here. This is all guesses. This is all hearsay. I don't have any true evidence for this. This is just my opinion on what I think is possibly going to happen. If I had to guess, I say they're probably gonna put him in jail for like a year. I was like, yeah, we're gonna put you in jail for a year. Now, best case scenario, this gets appealed, this gets overturned, this gets thrown out because it's bullcrap. Because it's absolutely bogus and plain to see for everybody that this is a freaking show trial. But they've got 30 days. They've got 30 days to appeal this. I don't know what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's going to happen. But my guess, they're going to throw him in jail for at least a year. And I don't know, man. I don't know what happens. I think Donald Trump is still likely going to win after this. But if they throw him in prison, I think people are going to start to ask questions of, well, how is he going to be, how is he going to be president if he's locked in a prison? So how are we going to do it? Well, how is this going to work? This is the goal. This is the goal that the Democrats wanted all along, is to get you to ask the question in the back of your brain that says, how is this going to work? Oh my goodness. Can Donald Trump be president? Yes, he can. He can still be president. And I can tell you right now, Donald Trump can fix a lot more of this country from a prison cell than Joe Biden has been doing from the White House. Joe Biden has literally been hiding in a basement for his entire campaign. For both of his campaigns that he has ran against Donald Trump, he has been hiding in a freaking basement, okay? Donald Trump will get more done and fix more problems in this country from a prison cell than Joe Biden has in his first term. Okay? This is the reality. Donald Trump in a prison cell is better than Joe Biden in the White House. That's a fact. It's just a fact. Donald Trump has better policies, better economic policies, better foreign policy. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a decision to make. I personally believe that this election right here, this election could be one of the last elections that we ever have. Because if Donald Trump does not win this next election, well, the precedent has been set, ladies and gentlemen. It's been set. Any Republican that tries to run against the Democrats, this is what they can expect to happen to them. This is what's going to happen to them. The Democrats will use lawfare. They will use bogus, trumped-up charges against anybody that questions their power, that dares to run against them, that dares to try to take their power from them. Lawfare, every time. The precedent has been set, ladies and gentlemen. It's either Donald Trump wins this election or this country is over. It's over. Because every single Republican after Donald Trump that tries to run for office, this is what they can expect. So unless Donald Trump gets elected and we get some kind of justice for all of this garbage, for all of this corruption, I don't know. I don't see how we come back from this. If Donald Trump loses this election, I don't see how we come back from this. This is our last chance. And ladies and gentlemen, if you care at all about this country, you need to get off your butt, and go vote in November. If you claim at all to ever give a crap about this country, to ever care about this country, but you stay at home in November, then you're a liar. You're a liar. This is the last chance we have. After seeing this today, I truly believe this is the last chance we have to ever save this country. Because if we don't resolve this, if Donald Trump doesn't get elected and they don't use lawfare to solve this and to get rid of this corruption out of our government, we are screwed, guys. It's over. Every single Republican that comes after this they're just going to arrest them. They're just going to trump up charges, bring up bogus charges against whoever, do it in a state where they're going to have an advantage, where they can get a corrupt judge like Judge Merchan, and then they're just going to throw their political opponents in jail. This is what's going to happen from henceforth on unless Donald Trump wins this election. It's the last chance we have. It's the last chance we have. The stakes could not be higher, ladies and gentlemen. Will you rise to the occasion? Or will you continue to be some doomer idiots that sit on your hands and does nothing? Will we as Americans continue to be cowards? Oh, well, I just can't be bothered to go help my country. I have a meeting at 3 o'clock. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm just a little coward who can't do anything. Man, when the left wants to get something done, they go burn down a police station. Excuse me, my ring smacked my table here. When the left wants to go do something, they go burn down entire city blocks in order to get what they want. When is the right going to do so much as just get off their freaking butt and put a freaking ballot in a box? Where are we at, guys? Where are we at? When are we going to stop being idiots and get off our butts and do what has to be done to save our country? Come on, guys. I cannot be the only one that's pissed here, that's tired of seeing us lose to these scumbags. I don't get it, man. If you don't go vote in November after seeing this, then you never cared about our country. You didn't care. You don't care about our country. You never have. Don't claim that you ever have, because you gave the election to the Democrats. You not going to vote in November is saying, I don't care if the corrupt Democrats win. I don't care if we end up living in a totalitarian state, a banana republic where the Democrats throw all their political opponents in the gulag and we live under a boot. I don't care, because I just can't be bothered. I'm such a lazy little bum. This is lazy little bum Republican. Just, can't be bothered to go help my country because, reasons. Come on, guys. It's got to stop. This is the last chance we got. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video coming for you guys probably next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section, share the show with your friends. Follow me on all the socials down in the description, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.